This is former TNA World Champion Raven, and you're listening to TNA Cross the Line podcast. Quote the Raven, nevermore. And don't cross the line. Or do cross the line. I'm not really sure if you're supposed to, you're not supposed to. I don't know. Whatever. You get it.
TNA Wrestling. Cross the line.
And we're back with episode 226 of the TNA Crossline Podcast. I'm Bob Colling Jr. With me, as always, is Dallas Gridley. In Dallas, we're moving to Thursdays.
Ooh.
And guess what? At least for this episode, we're prime time.
It doesn't get much better than that.
That's right. It's April 13th, 2006. Or while you're listening to this, it's April 13, 2024. 18 years into the future.
And important to note, we've changed days.
Right. See, I don't know that. You're the guy behind the...
I'm double checking here. April 13th. It's Saturday, baby.
Yeah.
We drop a day earlier? What?
Start your weekend with us.
What? Yeah, so starting on this episode, we are going to be back on the date because the leap year kind of messed us up. So that's that.
Yeah. Well, on this episode of Impact, the primetime Thursday debut, we've got a couple of major things taking place. The first one is being that we have a title match tonight, where the X Division champion, Christopher Daniels, is going to be defending against the former champion, Samoa Joe, a man, Samoa Joe, who has not been pinned, nor has he submitted in TNA. He's lost matches, but his shoulders have never touched the canvas for 3 seconds consecutively. So he's still technically undefeated in that sense. But also tonight, for the first time in prime time since March 2001, I believe it's March 26th, I think, 2001, the final episode of Nitro, Sting is competing in prime time wrestling. And I'm going to make sure that Nitro date is right. It better be. Yes. Okay, March 26th. Right? Yeah, good. All right. If I had forgotten that, I would have been pretty embarrassed. So, Dallas, Thursdays, 9 p.m. Again, this is just a 1 week. I believe after this week, it's back to 11 o'clock. But how are we feeling about Sting? And how are we feeling about the X Division Championship match? Daniels, Joe, tonight.
I'm pretty freaking pumped, dude. This is a absolutely loaded episode of Impact. Loaded.
Would you say stacked?
Stacked, even. Just like AEW Dark.
Yeah. We have 14 matches tonight. It's loaded.
It's
stacked.
2.5 hours
of enhancement matches. Check it out. You want to watch Shawn Spears compete in a 7-minute squash match? Dark Elevation tonight.
Yeah, for real. Dark Elevation. That's what made me tap out. I couldn't do it. Like, I watched most of them. I was like, I gotta stop. Like, I can't do this anymore.
There's no way. I can't do it. I can't even do it now. It's too many shows.
Well, that's just because you want to watch 92.
That's right. You're absolutely right. You're just a hater.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's just how it goes. So, Bob, we have a lot to talk about today, which is always my favorite. You pretty much gave us the recap that we need, so we can skip right over that, which is great. I suppose we could run down the matches, like everything that happened on the last episode, but sure that won't hurt. On the April 8th, 2006 edition of Impact, we saw Abyss and AJ Styles face off in a no contest. And then we saw another no contest when Norman Smiley and Shark Boy fought the Diamonds in the Rough. And I'll be honest with you, I don't remember why that ended in a no contest. Let me see.
Steiner and Jared, didn't they?
Ah, yes, thank you. I was scrolling to my notes to confirm that, but you are definitely right about that. And then Alex Shelley defeated Chase Stevens and Roderick Strong in 5 minutes 35 seconds to qualify for the World X Cup. So that is that's your catch up for that. Let's start diving into some of these notes, Bob. And don't worry, we'll have plenty more to talk about during the show, as we always do. So we actually have two observers to go over. I don't know why. I don't know why there's two observers posted back to back, like literally April 17th and April 19th. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't control this. It makes no sense to me. So I'm just going to go right from the top down, and we'll see how this goes. The TNA Impact on April 3rd did a 0.53 rating. So even though the first run on Saturday was way down due to WWE Hall of Fame, the replay was not up. Part of that may be because UFC Unleashed was not the lead-in, although the first run of Pros vs. Joes did a 0.82, which is better than the millionth replay of an episode of Unleashed did the prior week, but it's not as compatible in audience to carry over. So Pros vs. Joes is officially our lead-in
for the Saturday show. Saturday rerun.
Yes, I think for the replay. Yeah, because Saturday was down due to the Hall of Fame. The replay was not up.
Joe versus or whatever it's called, Pro versus Joe versus Pro. Not a bad show. I enjoyed that.
I don't know if I ever even saw that or know what it is, to be honest with you.
Well, it's pretty self-explanatory. A pro of a sport goes on to do a competition against an ordinary Joe. And typically the Joe gets fucking destroyed.
Awesome. That's great. Chris Kanyon had a huge article in the Windy City Times, which is Chicago's leading gay newspaper. So he actually talks quite a bit in this, but as always, why do we care what his article was? Well, he talks about his very, very brief run here in TNA.
And also we like Chris Kanyon.
Well, of course. I mean, yeah.
And we support gays.
Yeah, but now you're like really of course we like Chris Kanyon and the gays, of course.
Yeah.
But we care about TNA. Oh. We have a run-in.
Food service.
No, just a latte and a dog.
A latte and a dog. Hot dog.
Thanks, latte delivery. Yeah, you're welcome. Hey. You like that?
Are those the first spoken word?
Yeah.
On the podcast? Wow.
She usually tries to very much be quiet.
Yeah, add her onto the guest star list on our show.
Yeah. Right. So he's got a lot that he discusses in this article here, but he releases a lot of info about his dealings with TNA. Well, he also released info on his dealings with TNA on his MySpace account as well as he sent to us. So I think he talks about it in the article, but it also is on his MySpace account. But anyways, none of this is likely to help his chances at much working there. Now, he was booked to do a 3-minute squash on February 14th for Monty Brown on TV, but he wouldn't sign the contract, stating that he didn't like the clause that would allow the promotion to market his likeness indefinitely. We've talked about this, I feel like 20 times. Mm-hmm. We've talked about this a lot. Now, he said he talked to Jeff Jarrett on January 31st about coming in, and Jarrett told him that he'd like to if they got more TV time, because he didn't want to bring him in and just beat him. He did tell him that Universal may have a problem with someone legitimately gay and proclaiming it as his gimmick, performing that role at their theme park, as TNA has to keep that aspect of its show clean, is what it says. Now Dave goes on to say whatever clean is supposed to mean. So this is, of course, sounds like bullshit. There's no way that is a legitimate thing, I feel like. But
they have to keep their product clean in that regard.
Yeah, so he can't be, quote, as it says, this is what I've been reading, legitimately gay and proclaiming it as his gimmick.
I don't understand why it'd have to be like
why it matters. Yeah, like what?
I mean, for all the TNA fans, I mean, chances are if you're listening to this podcast, you're probably a TNA fan. I want you to think about 4 years from now. And if there's a character on what would eventually become Impact Wrestling and how they would portray themselves, and tell me if it's clean. And I'm just going to, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, there is a legendary segment that involved like glue or something, and it was quite uncomfortable.
I know exactly what you're talking about, I'm pretty sure.
Caution tape all over the
Yeah,
room.
oh yeah. Yeah, okay. I was glad that I wasn't thinking of the wrong thing, but no, I know exactly. Yeah, so anyways, continuing on here. Whatever clean is supposed to mean, blah, blah, blah. A week later, he got the call to come in and face Brown for a $500 payoff. Now, TNA wouldn't take the clause that he didn't like out of the deal. So, on February 10th, he IM'd, instant messaged for you young people, with Jeremy Borash, who said that there's no way that Spike would allow a F slur that I'm not saying chance on its TV. Kanyon said that they could bleep it off and that it would be great publicity, but Borash said that Spike would be negative on those chants, bleeped or not.
Wait. He wanted to use the word?
I guess.
No way.
Or like get the fans to chant it at him. I don't know. I don't know. The way it's worded is a little weird here, but
yeah.
On March 11th, he emailed both Jarrett and Borash again regarding the gimmick of playing the first openly gay pro athlete. By this point, neither responded to him.
Well, I don't know. For some reason, I find it just wild that he IM'd Jeremy Borash on AOL Instant Messenger.
I know. I think that's so funny.
That's amazing. I was hoping you were going to say it was Jeff Jarrett.
No. Yeah, right. I am in Jeff Jarrett.
No. That would have been crazy.
Yeah. So, on to some other news. After the apparent bad news of Spike announcing 2 short-term comedies, one, a big fit from Finland in the 10 to 11 p.m. Thursday night slot in July when The Ultimate Fighter ends, Spike's VP of Sports and Specials, Brian Diamond, in an interview with Alex Marvez, said that they will consider moving TNA to a 9 p.m. slot in July if ratings are strong in the 11 p.m. slot. So there's a chance we could move up. Quote, we want to protect the franchise and don't want to rush it and come along too quickly. We want to give it time to really grow, but there's always the possibility. We want to place them in the best possible position for them. So at least they're doing it out of the goodness of their heart.
See, I don't like this. I'm going to give you an example. So it's all about branding. And you look at like Monday Night Raw, right? Monday Night Raw. It tells you it's on Monday.
Monday night.
It was always at fucking 9 p.m. So you knew where to go. You knew the channel. You knew it was on. Nowadays, when they're like, oh, hey, it might go to Tuesday, then it's not Monday Night Raw.
Ugh, isn't that the stupidest thing ever?
You know, like, oh, hey, we're going to switch it to Wednesdays. When what? No. So with Impact here, they have changed it already a handful of times, and now they're saying in like 3 months we'll change it again. It is important as a viewer to have like appointment television. At this point in time, I'm watching Impact. Okay. So like I am like, hey, I like this product, whatever. And if I know that at Thursday at 9 on Spike TV, that's fucking Impact, I'm gonna tune in and do it. You could form a habit. It's like The Office. I used to watch The Office every fucking Thursday at like 8 o'clock on NBC because I know exactly when it was on, everything. That's how they're going to end up losing viewers on this because they don't know when the fuck to watch it.
I know. Yeah, it's very interesting, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, I feel like we've already changed, like, it feels like 4 or 5 times.
I mean, at least.
It feels like it. And they only do it more.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's insane. Just stick to a day, stick to a time. If you think you can do Thursdays at 9, fucking just do it right now. Don't switch it.
Yeah.
Because people who watch this episode the next week are going to tune in Thursday at 9, and it's not going to be fucking Impact. And they're going to be like, what the fuck?
Unless they tell us. Which they're
Right.
not going to.
Yeah.
So we have some lockdown issues too. Lockdown's coming up April 23rd. There's actually, I will tell you right now, between the World X Cup and lockdown, dude, between this and our next episode, we're going to be talking a lot about those things.
Oh, God.
A lot. I couldn't believe how much stuff there was. And it bounces back and forth, so guys are going to have to bear with us. There is a problem for the April 23rd lockdown show. Jushin Liger, who at this point is still scheduled as the captain of Team New Japan and will be on the May 14th pay-per-view, is off his scheduled match with Christopher Daniels. Now, I think we heard that rumor before, that he was going to fight Daniels.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no more. He's also going to be off the tapings the day after lockdown. Now, we don't have a reason other than that TNA is having a problem when it comes to being told things are a done deal by foreign agents and then actually have them be a done deal. And this whole World X Cup preparation gives one example after another on it. One thing 100% for sure is that it is not overdoing a job. So no final decision has been made regarding rearranging the card, but that will be decided this week. So at least it's not because Liger is like not wanting to do a job. There's a communication issue,
right,
with the agents. Speaking of things that are changing, you're gonna really hate this, Bob.
What?
Of course, things can change at any moment, but regarding Bill Goldberg, it doesn't appear that anything is intimate.
What?
No. If he's not announced on the April 10th tapings on Sting's team for Lockdown, which is the show we're about to watch, the first of that taping, and right now it is highly unlikely that he will be, then I wouldn't expect it. There are different ideas that have been talked about for him if he was to agree to come in now, both singles and tag ideas. So unless they mention Bill Goldberg on the show we are about to watch, he's probably not coming in.
I am absolutely stunned to hear that Bill Goldberg might not fucking come in.
Well, then this next one shouldn't surprise you either, because the company had talked about using Bret Hart forever. And Scott D'Amore and Jeremy Borash have always kept in contact with him, although Jeff Jarrett has largely joked about it, other than when he met Hart in England in January, and also thought there was a chance. But it looks like that won't be happening, because Bret Hart did an interview in the Calgary Sun, and he says, quote, "I don't think so, only because I don't know what I could do. If someone asked me to be involved in storylines or the matches themselves, I'd consider that. But for me to be a sideline character, it would have a look of desperation to it."
I mean, really, what could he do? Just be like their Teddy Long? Tonight's going to be a tag team match. with the Undertaker.
Well, yeah, right. That would be interesting. Bret Hart's the commissioner. He's the new DOA.
Oh my God, I can just see it now. It's like, I know a lot about getting screwed.
Yeah, right.
And I'm not going to let that happen here.
They've had Earl Hebner. Has Earl apologized by this point?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he apologized fucking like 05, like a while. Like when he got inducted in 04 or whatever.
Oh.
Wait, no. Wait, Brett got inducted in 06.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
He's apologized for it already.
I'm sure Earl probably did. I feel like had to have been not too long after. After he got fired too, he was like, "Fuck, I really messed up now."
Yeah, I don't have a job anymore, and I fucked over my friend. So hey, Brett, sorry about that. My bad. But also, I think Brett has long said that he doesn't blame Earl because it was like, hey, if you don't do this, you lose your job. So I don't think he's had ill will towards Earl, really.
I mean, that's respectable.
Yeah, it's more towards like Sean and Hunter and Vince because, like, you know, those are the boys supposed to have your back, and they fucked them. But also, Brett, I love you, but just drop the fucking strap, dude. It's wrestling.
Also true. This next one's not as dramatic as his last two notes, but Conan has had 6 shots in the controversial new medical procedure for his hip done by a doctor in Mexico that got 2 of the U.S. Olympic team skiers up and competing when they looked to have no chance to recover from knee problems in time for the games. Now, it will be about 2 more months before they will know if this treatment is actually going to work, and if not, then he'll have to have hip replacement surgery, which was what actually he was told a few years back when other doctors said it was necessary at that time. And as we discussed, I think you and I discussed the last time we saw Conan, it was it's kind of one of his last like matches in TNA ever, except besides like one other like one-off. So
yeah, I mean you can already tell that he's not moving around very well.
Oh yeah, it's bad.
Bullet Bob is moving around better than Conan, so that's probably a little alarming. I'm surprised to hear about that he needed hip surgery or hip replacement years ago. That's kind of wild.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
So I mean, I wonder why he wouldn't have done it after WCW got like bought out. I mean, you'd have time to rest. You're still getting your WCW money, unless he didn't have a contract like that. But I'd have to think he did. Right? He was still yeah, he was still working in 01 for WCW, so he definitely had a contract still.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
I would have just done it then.
I mean, that would have been the smart thing to do.
He didn't even come to TNA until what? 03? He wasn't there in 02. So like probably summer of 03 roughly when like Hoovy was there and like the luchador thing with Conan or with Jay Lynn. So you're looking at like 2 years of him just like recovering, assuming that he knew in 01 that he would have.
Well, that's true. I don't know. Freaking Conan, man. That wraps up for our pre-show notes from the One Observer, but now we're going to go into the other one real quick. And let's start off with something pretty interesting here. So now, by most accounts, due to the Shamrock Ortiz dynamic, the first show of, I'm assuming, The Ultimate Fighter, big success. Now, this is incredibly good news for TNA, which directly follows this show starting on, that's right, April 13th. That's today. The last time that TNA followed a major first-run UFC event was on January 16th. And the 1.74 Ultimate Fight Night rating led to a 0.9 TNA rating, replay rating, double the usual number. And that was on Monday night at midnight. A harder time slot to draw than 11 p.m. Thursdays. Historically, the first run TNA has kept most of the UFC audience on Saturday nights. So there is potential, Bob, that the Ultimate Fighter before the episode that we are about to watch could help us draw one of the best ratings we've ever got.
So it's coming off of the Ultimate Fighter. So Ultimate Fighter must be what, from 8 to 9
Yes.
every Thursday. Why wouldn't you just keep Impact at 9?
I don't, because I think they're jamming it with other bullshit. I think we talked about that at some point too, but
yeah, that's just,
yeah,
that's weird.
Well,
That's just weird programming.
Speaking of ratings, though, this is a pretty big deal too. Probably the most misleading rating of the year was on the TNA Impact from April 8th, our last show, which drew the second biggest rating in the history of the company with a 1.0 rating and 1.1 million viewers. Now, that sounds awesome until you realize the entire growth was due to the repeat of the debut of the Ultimate Fighter doing a 1.2 rating for the special and a 1.3 for the final quarter instead of the usual 0.8 that Unleashed did. Now, worse, they didn't keep the audience at all. Now, the first quarter hour of TNA did a 1.26 rating, by far the biggest in the history of the promotion. However, it fell to a 0.92 in the second quarter hour and stayed at that level for the rest of the show, including the Sting interview not moving the rating at all. Now, still, it sure bodes well for Thursdays when Impact will be getting a lead-in that could be as high as a 2.0 instead of a 1.2. Now, TNA did a 1.19 in men 18 to 34 and a 0.97 in men 35 to 49. So it's a little misleading, that number, but it could still significantly benefit us.
You know, that's the Saturday night, remember? Right?
Yeah, had to been, because it was the replay of the Ultimate Fighter, and now the live one is about to be on before today's episode, so that's the big deal, right?
So like the rating for this April 13th show, they're probably hoping for at least a 1.
I'd have to assume. I'd have to assume. Yeah. Okay, you ready to talk about some of this freaking mess with the World X Cup, dude?
Yeah, I can't wait.
It's pretty crazy. And actually, between that and one other Juice and Liger note, that's going to wrap us up before we get into today's show. So this is going to be a good ending before we get into the show. So here's the latest craziness regarding Team Mexico. Antonio Pena has been unable to be reached because he was at a party and his cell phone was stolen. So we're off to a great start. And he's the promoter that TNA contacts. So if you happen to not know, haven't heard that name before, that's their contact. Somehow the person who wound up with it and found out it was Pena's, was trying to find him and get it back to him. So that's good news. There were attempts to contact Shocker, but his girlfriend said that he was on tour for 3 weeks, which Dave says sounds like it's a code word for something else. Who knows?
Whoa.
Because AAA doesn't have 3-week tours, he says.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
There you go. And he's no-showed and was in the doghouse in AAA. Yeah, anyway, so he's probably...
so he's like not... Okay.
Yeah, he's bullshit. Abismo Negro, who has appeared before, may also be unavailable. Extreme Tiger, and... Oh, I'm going to butcher this name. Mosco de la... Merced? I don't know. Well, they don't have valid working papers, so they can't come in. And one of them doesn't even have a tourist visa, and there's no time that they can take care of that. There is someone who is from El Paso. He's 6'1". His name is Magno. And he's been talked about because he's only 21 and can speak some English, which is one of the reasons that they wanted Shocker to end up coming in. So there's some talk about bringing this other guy in. Now, the whole problems with CMLL is that Paco Alonso's business is great right now, and he doesn't want to do anything to interrupt the momentum or have his guys get exposure elsewhere. His feeling is that if they let any of his top guys go to TNA, and if they get over, TNA will want them for more dates and try to hire them. Or if they get over, someone in WWE might see them and try to hire them before TNA even offers them a contract. He's also worried about that in TNA, the environment that Conan is there, and that Conan may try to make contact with them for any projects that he might have in Lucha Libre world, or try to convince them to work with him in AAA, as it isn't like he wasn't involved in some of the last year's talent raids. So there's, as most people know, there's so much politics in Mexico's wrestling.
It's insane.
Like still today. Like if there's, I'm sure you saw as well, Bob. AEW has been using CMLL wrestlers. Well, if there is any other, I think they even opened it up to be like, if they're Mexican at all, they can't be on the show. And not only that, it's like if we have Mystico on, well, Pentagon Jr. can't be on because he's a AAA guy. Oh, Phoenix, he can't be on either. So it's like it's that strict. It's just like the same stuff. The same thing with New Japan. New Japan has a partnership with CMLL, which means that like Forbidden Door, for example, when AEW is the partnership with New Japan, we cannot have any of these people. That's why Andrade never wrestled on it. That's why Pentagon Jr. and Phoenix never wrestled on it. So much politics. It's crazy.
I don't know. I've never understood why people make wrestling so like not fun.
Because it's the wrestling business, not the wrestling friendship, as Matt Cardona says.
I think it's so stupid.
I like that line. I think it's so funny. The wrestling business, not the wrestling friendship.
The wrestling.
It's about making money. And that's what it is. I mean, that's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Capitalism, baby. Bob, that's going to cover our pre-show notes. We have plenty more stuff to talk about during the show. A lot of like quick hit ones. And some things that there's going to be people that are trying to come back. There's notes about upcoming partnered house shows. I mean, let's see, you're probably going to cover those too. I have the results for 2 house shows that happened before this. We can discuss if we want at any time.
What is it? Is it UWF?
Yeah, it's UWF stuff. So I'm assuming you'll probably cover those.
I can just do that now. If there's UWF shows, I can just do that.
There's 2 before this taping, and then there's 1 after that we'll probably cover on our next episode.
Yeah, you're talking about March 31st and March 1st?
April 1st and March 31st, yeah.
What did I say?
March. You said March and March.
March 31st and April 1st. That's what I meant.
Yeah. Those are the 2.
All right. March 31st, this is UWF TNA. This is the Hermes Sadler and Dave Hebner promotion. And I think Earl. So I think all 3 of them. This show is called Qualified for Action. Because, it's NASCAR, so qualified makes sense.
Oh, I get it.
I should probably click on results instead of just the card. Jerry Lynn and Sanjay Dutt defeated Team Canada, which was Eric Young and Petey Williams. Tracy defeated Amber O'Neal. Oh, this is an upset. The Naturals defeated America's Most Wanted in a non-title tag team match. Rhino defeated Abyss. Jeff Hardy teamed up with Kip James to defeat Jeff Jarrett and Maven. And in the main event, Team 3D defeated the Diamonds in the Rough, which is David Young and Elix Skipper, in a Falls Count Anywhere street fight.
Good stuff.
April 1st, the winner's circle. Get it? Because when you qualified for action, then you race and you win.
It's another NASCAR thing.
It's a NASCAR thing.
Whoa.
That's right. April 1st.
Dude, wait, that's so fucking corny, dude.
Yeah, I know. No wonder this company only lasted till early 08.
I get it, but
yeah, that's their audience, brother. That's their
right. No, it makes sense.
The Naturals defeated the Diamonds in the Rough. David Young and Alex Skipper. Sanjay Dutt defeated Jerry Lynn and Petey Williams in a 3-way. Kip James defeated Maven in a NASCAR Lumberjack 8-man tag match. Team 3D. Hermes Sadler and Jeff Hammond defeated America's Most Wanted, Eric Young and Jeff Jarrett. Mixed tag match. Amber O'Neal And Jeff Hardy defeated Matt Bentley and Tracy. And in the main event, it was a anything goes hardcore match. Rhino defeated Abyss.
And I will say too, I don't have like a note. It's just like the results. That first show that you mentioned from March 31st drew 800 fans, and that second show drew 500.
See, I would have thought, I would have thought the first one was a bigger card, I think.
Right.
But the second one had like Hermie and stuff. Is Hermie not a draw? Oh no.
I don't know. Is it about Hermie being a draw, or is it like they didn't want to see Rhino over in Abyss again?
That is a match that is done to absolute death, especially on the indies. Like if you're a Northeast wrestling promotion, chances are you would have booked a Rhino Abyss match.
I mean, listen, I would have went.
Well, yeah, because that's just the type of fan that you are.
What the
Former ECW wrestler, I gotta go see him.
I get him to sign my poster. Actually, I'd be going for Abyss first off, you motherfucker. Let's get that right.
You can let out an exasperated thing all you want. You cannot sit here and tell me that you did not send me a screenshot of Tommy Dreamer coming to our area in 2024, and you're like,
no, you did.
Gotta go.
You did. You sent it, you dumbass.
I know.
Because they used a picture from what, 97 or something?
It is 90s. Yes, it's a picture. That shit drives me nuts. You don't use a promo picture from fucking over 20 years old.
I would say the only time that's acceptable is if it's a signing. Because if they're wrestling, chances are they have a more recent picture.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Like,
absolutely.
Tommy Dreamer is active in Impact. Like, he still wrestles.
Yeah. Yeah. The fact that could you imagine a fan is like, oh, this Tommy Dreamer guy looks pretty good. Comes to the show, Tommy Dreamer comes out, and they're like, what the hell happened to Tommy Dreamer? He looks nothing like that advertised promo picture.
Could you imagine?
Another one that does that is like Shane Douglas. They're like, oh, here's a promo picture of Shane Douglas from 1995.
Which is hilarious because he doesn't look that different that you need to do that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you can still tell he's Shane Douglas.
Yeah. A lot of these guys don't look like they don't look horrible. They look, they've aged. But it's not like, oh, man, I can't put that on a promotional poster. Oof. Right. Got to use something older.
Bob, one more quick thing before we get into the show. I just want to cover our explosion matches real quick because I actually have the dates for them. And then we can get right into this freaking action. I just got it right in front of me. I'm really excited about these explosion matches. So it was at the same taping here on April 10th. This one aired on April 14th. It's explosion number 131, according to Cage Match. And Chris Sabin defeated David Young. And then there was a second match on Explosion 132 that aired on April 21st, right before lockdown. Fun stuff. Where the team of Roderick Strong and the Latin American Exchange, and yes, it's Hot Stuff Hernandez and Homicide. With Conan ringside delivering, defeated Cassidy Riley, Chase Stevens, and Shark Boy.
Now, see, I'm glad that you mentioned Hernandez because we saw him debut on Impact.
That just clicked to me too, and I was like, "Wait, we did just see him."
We did. He decked Billet Bob in the arm wrestling contest thing, and just from that appearance alone, he is such a better fucking fit than Apollo.
Oh yeah, dude,
and certainly better than fucking Machete.
It's not even close.
It's not even fucking close. He's the power guy. Homicide can be your little scrappy brawler guy. It's a very good pairing. It fits very well.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to seeing how that progresses in the coming months. All right. Well, you said that was all your notes.
There's more during the show, but yes.
During the show, right?
That's what we got to kick us off. I'm ready to get into the action.
Yep. All right. So let's get into it. It's April 13th, 2006. We're going prime time. It's Thursday. It's 9 p.m. It's Spike TV. I'm going to count down from 3. When I say play, that's when we're going to start the show. If you want to watch along with us, head over to the TNA Plus app or find it in your own personal collection. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, play. Now, you might be wondering what is going on. This show has been joined in progress, but it's the full show, so don't worry.
Well, Christopher Daniels is busted open, and
Yeah,
Joe's
bleeding
beating his
bad.
ass. The highlights
those
before we
highlights.
came on air, there's that much that happened. Joe was trying to the muscle buster. How long was this match before he went on air?
I know. That's a really good question. A moonsault to the floor.
Bob, is this real? Come on.
If this is like a 20-minute match and we're about to see the final 3 minutes, I'm going to be pissed.
And Joe drove Daniels into the ring post, and that's why he's busted.
Now, I remember watching this in 2006, and I was pissed that it started in progress.
Well, yeah, like,
I fucking hated that.
come on. I'm bummed out because I feel like we're missing something good.
Yeah, you want to see the whole bout. Yeah, TNA and Don West are freaking going nuts about Sting.
His first match on TV in 5 years.
5 years. It's Sting.
Daniels is trying to fight back here, but dude, he is already so beat up.
Yeah, he's hurting.
Joe is biting the wound.
He's a hurting. Now, you have said they want to get Joe out of the X division, but I don't think. I mean,
Well, and as they're mentioning in commentary here, Joe's scheduled to fight Sabu at Lockdown. That was the whole thing of
Right.
like, they're going to get him out of the X division. You're going to fight someone else. And it's like Sabu, which you could argue is still sort of X division.
yeah, but even
Oh.
that, I don't know.
You hear that? Liger not at Lockdown. So they've announced that officially now. Samoa Joe with a huge knee. I can't believe what he's doing to the fallen angel.
$10 months.
Never pinned.
Almost a year.
That's crazy.
It's gonna be even crazier when Bill Goldberg comes in here.
He's going to get announced tonight.
Could you imagine? Who's next?
Oh,
You're
ducking.
next, Samoa Joe.
Oh. Nice high knee by Samoa Joe, laying out Christopher Daniels. Speaking of the X division, though, Bob, take a guess about who might be trying to get back in here.
Well, when you say it like that,
I know, I kind of might have spoiled it.
no, I don't think that's the case, but who could be X Division coming back? Zach Allen.
No.
Shit. All right.
Give me a better guess than that.
Kid Cash.
Oh, that's a good guess, but no.
Fuck. All right.
It's Frankie Kazarian. He's looking to get back in. Now the deal is though that they don't want to bring him in and link him with Matt Bentley, who was his former tag team partner. While they were a good team, Bentley has heat with a lot of people right now because of his attitude, and they don't want Kazarian getting the residual heat there.
Okay. What? I mean, Kazarian left, and then they don't want to have him have heat because Matt Bentley's rubbing people the wrong way.
Yeah.
That's bizarre.
Yeah, right?
But that's also good to know that Bentley has heat because I'm sure that's going to impact his presentation.
Maverick Matt, baby. I have this weird feeling like, I don't know, if Matt Bentley is having a bad attitude and he's not even really being used that much, like how much more Matt Bentley do we got in the tank?
I don't think there's really much left. I mean, I like Matt Bentley, but I think ever since he's been forced to change his name from Michael Shane to Matt Bentley, that it's just kind of been nothing of note. And there's really no direction for him either.
Well, and I forgot that he was Shawn Michaels' cousin for a while there because they didn't tell us. So that's really been throwing me off.
Yeah.
Samoa Joe with that little face wash in the corner. I can't believe Daniels juiced before they got on air.
Well, you know what? I mean, that's a good way to keep the viewership engaged. I mean, if you tune into a show and a guy's already bleeding buckets.
That's a good point, especially after The Ultimate Fighter, where you kind of want people to get the shit beat out of them and probably be bleeding. So,
yeah.
Oh. Joe is destroying Daniels, though, dude. And remember, this is for the X Division title.
We're going to commercial. I'm wondering if we didn't really miss a lot. Was it just really like literally the things that they showed us is what we missed for the match?
It might have been. That'd be nice.
Oof, another powerbomb. Oh, nice. He's just jabbing his forehead while having him in STF.
That has to affect the champion. Look at him wrenching in the arms. Oh, foot on the rope, though. You got to break that up.
Daniels has so much heart. He's not going to just give up.
Joe cannot believe that Daniels is putting up with this. Okay, I did forget that.
I
don't think they told us that.
I feel like I didn't know this.
AMW versus Team 3D, anything goes. Sounds good to me.
Is that a tag title match?
They didn't say that.
Hmm.
Daniel's fighting back now, trying to take Joe off his feet. Coming off the ropes, but Joe not landing. Look at that. Daniel's up around.
Got a second win here. He's hulking up.
After a little code breaker action.
I mean,
Daniels to the top.
You've seen Hulk Hogan do a code breaker, right?
Yeah. I think it was in the same match that Scott Hall did the last call off the
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
the middle rope.
No. Never happened. Not even in a fantasy world could that happen. Oh man, nice for a Karana. And Joe taking an excellent bump for a big guy there. You went flying. But not enough for a 3. He kicks out. Big boob.
Yeah.
As my
Senton,
would say,
knees up.
vintage.
Daniels had his knees up.
vintage Christopher Daniels getting his knees up.
Oh, nice power slam, but Daniel still kicked out at 2. Joe taking Daniels to the physical limit.
Oh. Joe just kicking out.
Bunch of bullshit.
Come on, Daniels. Oh, man. Joe just slapping the shit out of him.
Okay, so I think I like what you said, too. We didn't miss a lot. We're already about to be at the 11-minute mark here. So if this was truly a 20-minute match, we aren't getting just 3 minutes like we were joking.
Right.
The BME?
Yeah. Can he get him? No.
Oh, he almost was the first man to pin Samoa Joe. The crowd is on their feet. They're losing their mind. An interesting note, by the way. So Samoa Joe's fighting Sabu at Lockdown. Well, Sabu was actually also advertised for the ECW pay-per-view. Because technically, he's not signed to TNA.
Right.
Which is going to be really interesting if they continue to use him after he appeared on that, after the whole deal with Jimmy Hart appearing on Raw.
I would imagine they wouldn't use him.
Holy shit.
That's an island driver.
Off the middle rope. Holy. I've never seen him win with that. Okay, Samoa Joe is your new X Division champion here on Impact. Oh my god, that was so sick, dude.
I would say that's a better move than Muscle Buster.
Yeah.
Now that was good.
Oh shit.
Sabu's moved it.
Oh, there's just a video package though.
Jesus Christ! So there's some guy
That's
just
so
in the
corny.
production truck is taunting Samoa Joe. Like, because are we supposed to believe that Sabu is like pressing the button?
Well, that's what I mean. Oh, baby. Stinger. Whoa! I love the way that sounds. So he's waiting to see if Jarrett has the stomach to accept his challenge.
You've got to be nerved out of your mind, Jarrett.
Who's on my team? We'll talk about that later. It's
Sting
showtime,
is
folks.
so hip and cool.
Sting wrestles for the first time on national TV in 5 years. It's quite the still to come statement. So you're telling me after that crazy match we just saw, we get to see a street fight now?
Mm-hmm.
Sign me up, baby.
And it's definitely non-title because they would have mentioned it by now.
Yes. Bob, do you want to take a guess here as we're talking with Don West and Mike Tenay? Who was backstage at this taping?
Are they trying to get a job?
One of them definitely is.
Buff Bagwell.
No, that's a fun guess though. We're seeing Christian Cage, Abyss.
All right,
stuff.
is it a heavyweight or like? Give me some clues.
Oh God. I don't know if he is considered a heavyweight, to be honest with you.
Okay.
They wouldn't use him as a heavyweight. No way.
Did he wrestle in ECW?
No.
WWE.
Sort of.
Sort of. What the
Let's
fuck?
say he was on a competition show.
Daniel Pewter.
Daniel Pewter was backstage
Hmm.
at Impact, and so is Johnny Devine, which is fun. The comments on Pewter is that he was tremendous at PR and was very different from almost everyone that had come into the dressing room for a job interview, and that he didn't appear to be intimidated by the surroundings. Virtually everyone knew of him because of the Angle deal and were praising him for what he did.
Right.
That's about the trying to break his arm situation, right?
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, because didn't like Kurt got caught or something?
Yeah, I actually just saw that on Twitter the other day. This is like supposed to be like a sit-down interview with Christian Cage, but it's mostly a highlight package here. When he had my head dunked under the water. I mean, one of the best segments ever in TNA. I mean, so well done.
I'm gonna say this. I know he's like trying to get this all serious and stuff, but having him with the title belt around his shoulder like that kind of makes it look silly. You try to kill me, but I got the belt around my shoulder. I think one of the first times I felt like the belt was just a prop. And not in a good way.
Mm. Look at these guys wearing pay-per-view white.
Well, they're also wearing jeans, so that's how you know it's a street fight.
I like street fight stuff. Jackie's matching them too. So is Gail. Why are they all wearing like the same thing?
Yeah.
White tops and black bottoms, except James Storm. He's got like a light blue jean on. But
How come, what are they doing to embarrass Jackie? Nothing?
no, they haven't done anything recently. Look out, look out, look out. Oh, Jesus. They got the American flag because we're talking about that Team Canada match. What if it just got lit on fire with the pyro?
That's like a fucking hate crime. War crime.
Greatest tag team ever. Do you agree?
No. You nuts? Team 3D, the greatest tag team of all time? No.
These guys brawling in the ring to start us off here. Not locking up because it's a street fight.
They've been here since when? November of 2005? Right? Or October? Right before Bound for Glory, I think, right?
I'm trying to remember. That sounds right. Double splash in the corner on AMW. Brother Ray tosses James Storm out. Devon tosses out Chris Harris.
Okay. What? Why would they get in the ring and start doing that? What prompted Gail just to slap the shot at Jackie Gata?
Because she got in the ring.
They're not going to 3D her. I was going to say, yeah. Thank God. Oh, time to go to a commercial break. Now, you might be wondering, how come there hasn't been indie notes? And it's because there are none. So don't worry about it.
Oh, I was wondering too.
I've already said the ones that apply to Daniels and Joe. So
fair enough.
And Sting doesn't really work at the indies, so don't have to worry.
Let's see if I got anything else for her. Oh, Jackie's here. Jeff Jarrett, Mike Tenay, and Jackie are all scheduled to appear on ESPN2's Quite Frankly this Wednesday. You'll also be glad to know that TNA is coming out with a bunch of action figures coming soon. Tag teams to James Gang, and some rivals like Jeff Hardy and Abyss, which is funny because Jeff Hardy's gone and they're still merchandising him. They're also coming out with Sting, Abyss, and Shark Boy figures that come with child-sized masks. Which I had the Sting one. Yeah, there's an Abyss one. Yeah.
That's fine.
The crowd is so loud. Wait a second, there's tags?
Yeah, dude, it's a no rules street fight, so you got to tag.
What in the world?
The thing with Jeff Hardy and merchandising him, that's probably, the contract that they can do that, right?
That's a really good question.
And like, why wouldn't you? If you can still make money off the guy and not be paying him a salary. I mean, I would imagine he'd get a cut of the figure sales, but
Crowd's chanting TNA. Devon and Harris are going to the crowd, and Brother Ray was just slamming James Storm face against a chair that fan was holding up. And now he ripped his shirt, slapping his chest. As Harris and Devon are brawling through the crowd. Oh, Storm just got in the crowd too.
But who's the legal man?
Well, Brother Ray was just tagged in. I don't know who he was fighting in the league because AMW has both been in the whole time.
It's a trick question because in this match there should be no legal men. They all should be legal.
Oh,
right?
They're all legal.
Oof.
We're already 21 minutes and 28 seconds into this show. This show
is flying by.
I'm getting a little anxious about my notes. Not that I have like tons and tons, but geez.
What the fuck is him? Is he him with a ring bell?
Oh my God! Storm just went through the wall right there.
That's good. I think Devon hit Chris Harris with the ring bell. Storm just went through a wall.
Well, oh, jeez.
Oh, Brother Ray had Psycho Eyes there for a second.
Throwing Harris into the guardrail.
Patriotism. Let's capture the flag at the pay-per-view. Let's capture them.
Oh, where's that title from? Is it a fan's title? Yep, it is, because he just chucked it. I think that came from one of the fans. Dude, Devon is only Irish ripping Chris Harris. That's all he's doing.
Crowd want tables because that's the only thing people care about from Team 3D.
It is kind of funny, isn't it? No one chants we want ladders when the Hardys are out.
You don't think that's ever happened?
I'm sure it has at some point, but...
You don't think Edge and Christian have not gotten we want chairs?
Why does each of these teams have their thing? Like, it's so weird.
Tables, ladders, and chairs.
I know that.
That was the whole premise. Edge and Christian are chairs. Dudley Boys, Team 3D are tables. And
it was that specific, like, leading up to it? Or that super kick?
No, well, I don't think it was ever specific, but I mean, that was the idea.
Well, that's what I mean, though, is it's very... Right.
And then the tables and ladders. So
they still do it,
combined it all, and then there you go.
They still do the concerto. Do you know that?
Edge and Christian do? Oh, yeah, they do. Did they do it in that I Quit match?
They teased it with a barbed wire chair.
Of course.
Actually, they did it to someone, I think, but not each other. It was teased to each other.
Well, didn't Copeland like murder Nick Wayne?
Yeah, well, yes, he did do it to Nick Wayne.
Yeah,
I'm thinking of the most recent match.
Oh.
Brother Ray from the middle rope, laying flat on his back. There's a trash can in the ring.
I don't know why, but I suddenly just have this hatred for Brother Ray.
All of a sudden, huh?
Yeah. Just watch this match. It's like I really don't like him.
The death sentence onto the trash can? No.
Oh,
Brother
I thought you
Ray.
were hit the camera guy.
Obviously a wrestler, Brother Ray. Going for the super kick. 3D!
Yeah, it's not a fucking 3D, everybody.
It's a back suplex.
Back suplex and neck breaker. Who got pulled out? Oh,
Petey
Petey Williams.
Williams.
Clothesline fucking. What is it? Is it Mark? Mark Johnson?
Yes.
Slick. It was like Slick. Oh, it's like Slick Mark. It's like Slick Johnson. Slick Mark
Yeah,
Johnson.
but he, I don't know if they've actually called him that yet.
Well, on WCW they did.
Well, oh, they did? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, here they haven't called him that yet. But Team Canada's out here beating up Team 3D. They're pulling out a table. And Bob, guess what? Scott D'Amore suffered a shoulder injury wrestling in Mexico last week. So I don't even know if we're going to see him. Hold on.
Are they ringing the
Hold
bell
on,
in a
hold
street
on, hold
fight
on.
right now?
Are you shitting me? We're throwing out the match in a fucking street fight? Are you kidding?
No rules. What?
Oh, shit. It's 3D's brother, the runt of the litter.
Brother Run, also known as Spike Dudley.
Fuck yeah, baby. Let's go. I did not expect this, dude.
No, I did not know that this was
What?
happening.
And 3D to A1 through the table. It looks
This is
like the numbers
hilarious.
game is evening out.
It looks like a little kid.
It's kind of insane.
Wow. Yeah, and then they're all like, "What the hell? What the hell is Spike Dudley doing here?"
Look at him standing on A1. Well, that was fun. I didn't expect that.
I like the debut there.
Dude.
Brother Run.
UWF footage? Michael Waltrip and Daryl
What?
Waltrip. The DirecTV 500.
Kyle Patty was there.
Look at
Oh,
Hermie
this
in the
is-
TNA shirt.
So this is the one that has 500.
Wait, this is freaking awesome that they're showing this footage, dude.
We could have watched the show, but you didn't want to.
This doesn't look... That's not true. I did want to. I said if we weren't going to die doing it, and with your current work schedule, there was no way we would
Yeah,
able to watch these shit.
I would do that.
Up next, Sting wrestles for the first time in 5 years. I got more notes I got to get through during the show.
I love that they showed Jeff Hammond getting fucking destroyed by a chair. That was pretty, good timing. That's fucking funny.
Speaking of other wrestling, though, Bob, weekly wrestling has returned to Wednesday nights at the fairgrounds in Nashville for the first time since TNA moved out. I don't know what it is, but the first show was on April 5th and drew 150 fans paying $1,862 for mostly local wrestlers, but featured a few veterans like Bill Dundee, Tracy Smothers, Flash Flanagan, and Ricky Morton, plus TNA regulars like Chris Harris, The Naturals, Tracy Brooks. Among those scheduled for future shows include Tommy Dreamer, just fired former WWE developmental wrestler Chris Cage, Chris Sabin, and Petey Williams.
Wow. You're only getting 150.
Uh-huh. Got some good names for only getting 150 fans, though.
You want to know what that means?
Hmm.
That territory is dead.
Are we just seeing real images of, oh my god, the lethal lockdown? They didn't show it with the weapons, but they show it with the top.
They show the top of it.
Wow.
So what weapons? There'll be a chair, there'll be a guitar, there'll be a baseball
Kendo
bat.
stick. Kendo
Stick. Trash can.
Trash can lid.
Lid.
I bet you there's like a stop sign. Or like a poster of Jeff Jarrett or something. A guitar. Did you say that?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. We are backstage now with Team Canada, Jeff Jarrett, AMW, and Scott Steiner.
Oh,
Alex
it's
Shelley.
Scott D'Amore.
Oh, hey, there he is. He must not be too hurt. I'll tell you how I'm going to respond, JB. I'm going to teach you that you should have never, ever challenged me, Sting. You should have stayed in California. And someone in the background goes, yeah, you should have stayed there.
Who keeps on
Someone's
saying that?
who's
Is it
mocking
rude?
him? Oh, he's going to give Eric Young the opportunity of a lifetime. Eric. Wow. Hey, speaking of Jeff Jarrett, Bob, Christian and Jarrett also have filmed both separate appearances for Casino Cinema on Spike TV. It airs Wednesdays, the day before the first Thursday night Spike show. So, yesterday.
For what?
Casino Cinema? I have no idea what it is. I have no context. I'm just telling the people who care.
It must be like a movie night or something.
That's
or
what I'm thinking,
like
yeah.
leading into a movie. Okay.
As Eric Young is going to come out here with Scott D'Amore to get beat up by Sting. It's pretty wild. We'll have a little Eric Young note about Sting next week. So a few weeks ago, we talked about Chris Sabin. He got a really bad concussion in Bristol, Connecticut. He hit 4 times in the head during a match, collapsed backstage, and was then taken to St. Joseph's Hospital in Ann Arbor, Michigan after that. He says, quote, "This was the most scared I've ever been and definitely the worst wrestling injury I've suffered," he told the TNA website. Quote, "I was really scared. I've had concussions before, but never felt so much dizziness. I really thought there was something seriously wrong. I felt so dizzy."
And this was Sabin?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, remember when he had, like, he was on, like, the upper stage there part?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right after a concussion?
Yeah, that was, I think, the same concussion, I'm assuming.
Right.
But
like, he was noticeably, like, on one knee, because I don't think he could stand up there without being woozy.
I can't believe Sting's going to wrestle on Impact right now. We're just casually watching a Sting match.
Yeah. Well, they casually mentioned it on. They're like, "Oh, by the way, next week, yeah, Sting." It's
Sting! He's still making his entrance, so
Sting should have had his final match in Impact.
I agree with that.
Sting against
that last match was so good.
Sting against Josh Alexander.
We haven't recorded since that. I think our last recording was the day we were going to watch it.
Oh shit!
So, guys, right. Sting retired. He went through a pane of glass.
He had a shirt on.
It don't matter, dude. He still
Darby Allin did not have a shirt on. That was noticeable. His sons were in it.
Look at that unamused Sting fan in the paint.
Well, that's probably not even really Sting paint. That was probably just somebody at the park doing face paint, and then it just happened to come out that way.
Yeah.
And the fan was like, "Oh my god, this guy has the same face paint as me."
We're at 33 minutes, 43 seconds, and Eric Young has already bailed out of the ring. He does not want to fight Sting.
No, he does not.
Sting probably watched the Destination X intro where Eric Young was painted up like Sting.
Yeah.
With, like, the mask on. Sorry, he wasn't painted. He had the mask.
Jesus.
Is it Alex Shelley?
Yeah, I thought somebody was going to attack. But it's just recording paparazzi production.
Brought the paparazzi cam. Up and over into the corner, chop Sting, punch, another punch, and Sting, of course. Blah! He hulks up right in his face. He says,
"Oh, jeez. Oh." Young guy tossed over to the floor and landed face first. Alex Shelley's right there to help out his pal. That's considerate.
Oh shit! Slingshot to the floor.
Crossbody by Sting. What is this? 1991?
Or is it 2022 or something when he's taking all these dives?
Shit. Yeah. You know what's disgusting is like 1991 and 2006 is 15 years ago.
That's so weird.
In that timeline, that is crazy.
Holy shit! Stinger splash on the guardrail, but Eric Young moving out of the way. We're going to commercial.
He does that fucking Stinger splash into the way every fucking time.
The guardrail version?
Yeah. Every time he fought Flair, he'd always try that Stinger splash and he would hit that railing every time.
That's awesome. Eric Young's got control here. Bob, I'm going to spit out a couple more notes to get these wrapped up before the end of the show. In case you were worried, Terry Taylor had neck fusion surgery and was wearing a brace at TV this past week here. So we didn't see him, but.
Well, I'm relieved to know that.
I know. I had to get that one out. But more interestingly, Minoru and Goto, who were IWGP Junior Tag Champs until February 18th and make a very good team, are still scheduled for Lockdown and may do a tag team match against two of the members of the U.S. team. We'll see if this happens. I'm going to be surprised if it does. And then, nothing is finalized on the Mexican team other than it's going to be with AAA. So they're hoping it's going to be Shocker, Abismo Negro, and Zorro are right now the leading candidates. Extreme Tiger is less likely because he doesn't have American working papers. With the timing the way it is, they aren't going to be able to get them taken care of in time. There's also interest in the wrestler I mentioned earlier, Magno, who is said to have a lot of potential and be like a Hector Garza type of wrestler.
I'm surprised that they would want Shocker back. But
I also thought the same thing, but maybe that they know they can count on him to come.
Could they? Because he just stopped showing up.
Well, that's, I guess, true. Good point. Stinger splash, but D'Amore kind of took the blunt. Boom. He did the blunt of it, but takes out Alex Shelley. Stinger.
Are you saying the blunt of it or the brunt of it?
I meant to say the brunt of it. I was thinking like
blunt impact.
Yeah. Well, Sting won.
It's still brunt.
Well, anyways.
Okay, that was a lackluster match. I mean, that was just Eric Young. I know, but that was just Eric Young bumping around.
What'd you expect, dude?
I don't know.
That's literally what I expected. Competitive? Yeah, okay. Sting, he won with the Scorpion Death drop, and now he's locking in the Scorpion Death lock on Alex Shelley.
Counter it, Shelley. Scott Steiner, run down there. Where are you, Scotty? Oh, Shelley's tapping already.
Well, you know he's there.
There's no ref.
Here comes Jarrett with the guitar and a shirt tighter than if it got any tighter, it'd rip off. Ducks the guitar shot.
Scott Steiner's definitely coming out. He's got to. I demand it. Uh-oh. He's got the baseball bat, but Jarrett's got the guitar. What's going to happen? Is he going to smash the guitar then stare at him? Let's see. Oh! He's found the counter of the guitar. It's with his baseball bat.
It's just like with
it's a perfect counter. See, it's great.
Here comes AMW.
What is this?
Jarrett's Army.
Here we go. Yeah, great. Hit him. Oh, there's Scotty. Get him, Scott. Go.
What if fucking all of a sudden you hear... Yeah. Here comes AJ Styles, Ron Killings, and Rhino.
All with baseball bats.
Oh, I wonder why. Could they be part of Team Sting? Team Stinger?
Do you think we'll get Goldberg's music and then he'll just take out Ron Killings and then he'll be like, I'm part of the team?
Well, he got to take out Rhino because they both have the same finishing move.
Oh, shit, you're right. Yeah.
Crowd's chanting, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up?
Children.
You children, get back to your mom and dad.
That's rude.
You got your team, Jeff. It's quite obvious, and I got mine.
And then Ron's like, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, shit.
We'll see you at lockdown, little kid.
I'm thinking Ron's about to hit these guys with a baseball bat, the way he's swinging it behind them.
Right? I hate to say it. Jeff Jarrett's team is significantly stronger.
I absolutely agree with
Like, it's not even comparable.
It's really not, but that's like typical Sting. It's like I've watched my fair share of like early 90s syndicated TV, right? And it would be like the Dangerous Alliance. It could be like Rick Rude and Stunning Steve Austin. And Sting would be like, I'm going to wrestle you guys tonight, but I'm going to have a partner with me. And you would think, oh, Ricky Steamboat or something. And no, and he would pick like Marcus Alexander Bagwell. And he'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? And that's the case here too. It's like, why AJ Styles, and that makes sense. Like Rhino has lost how many times to Jeff Jarrett? Like, come on. And then Ron hasn't been really relevant since June of 2004. Yeah,
Well,
he's a 2-time
he's
champion.
he's on the team.
Yeah, well, there you go. All right, that wraps up the episode. I mean, that episode flew by, and I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, it was a pretty good episode. I kind of see this is like one of those issues I have where it's like that felt like a really good go home episode for lockdown. So you know what that means for next week, Bob?
It's gonna suck.
It's probably not going to be as good of a show.
Yeah,
That is the trend. And now I want to give them a little bit of a break because in this particular case, they probably were getting shoved randomly onto Thursday, literally 2 episodes before lockdown. So I'll give them a little break there. But this is typical for them to have a very strong second to last show.
yeah. I guess I was gonna say like they tend to have their big name like Rhino made his in-ring debut the episode before his pay-per-view match or whatever, but like Sting's already wrestled on pay-per-view, so I mean that doesn't really make sense.
Right.
For that to be like the goal or mission or anything. So I don't know. They're definitely trying to pop a rating.
I mean, yeah.
So and
Which
with
I
the
understand.
context of the Shamrock Ortiz thing, I think that makes a lot of sense. That you would use Sting to do that.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
Because he's apparently a big star.
He is a big star. The best A+ player I can think of. So, wow, Bob, one more episode, and we are officially at lockdown. I'm feeling good. That was a good episode. I'm curious what's going to happen next week, but as we said, I know how this goes. So I'm expecting the worst, and if I do that, then maybe it'll be a good show.
Okay, well, you saying that, I mean, it's kind of silly because you think every single show is good.
I know. I was going to say, when I say the worst, it kind of just means it's like, it's still not a bad show.
Yeah, hey, this week was like good, but like not great, but like still like really good. So like on a scale of 1 to 10, I can't give it like an 8, but I'll give it like a 7.7. Like that's basically your scale.
You're ridiculous.
Am I ridiculous, or is that accurate?
Anyways, guys, keep in touch over on all our social pages and prepare yourselves to be locked inside the 6 Sides of Steel in 2 episodes.
Yeah, if you're a sucker for steel cage matches like your boy Bob, in 2 weeks' time, we're gonna be in fucking heaven.
And guys, we're going to be playing a new game on that Lockdown show. If they get slammed on the cage, Bob takes a shot. So prepare yourselves.
Here's the thing. If I were to do that, number 1, that'd be hysterical. But number 2, I would need a barf bucket.
Oh.
So I'll consider it.
Okay.
I did find my Tito's vodka. So I have that going.
You found it. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's get out of here. I'm ready to get in that episode of Impact next week.
I did just find it. I wasn't even looking for it, and I found it. So.
Oh my
I've had
God.
it for about 5 years, and it's still like 3/4 of the way full. So it's fine. All right, guys, join us next week for another exciting edition of Impact. Until then, for Dallas Gridley, I am Bob Colling Jr., and this has been the TNA Cross the Line podcast.